What's up, Amazon sellers? Today I am joined by none other than Max from Arbitrage Hero, and this is a second part of the two-part special that we're doing, learning about him, the software, but also about what is happening in the Amazon marketplace, especially also from my experience in buying Arbitrage on the UK as well. So if you haven't watched the first episode, do check out the video up there. That's a little bit about Max the hero and how the software came around. Today we're going to be talking very much around the marketplace and obviously a little bit about Arbitrage Hero as well. So Max, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for letting me pull you away from the computer and obviously bringing me down here, giving me some coffee, and obviously taking your time with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for taking me away from the computer. Really, I needed some break.
I know you work so hard, honestly, non-stop. So if anyone doesn't know you, just give us a quick introduction. Who are you, and obviously what do you do in the space?
My name is Max. I'm a creator of Arbitrage Hero, which is at arbitragehero.com, which is an Amazon software for Amazon sellers who do Amazon arbitrage.
Fantastic. And if I know, obviously I've used Arbitrage here and I know it, and obviously I know a lot of people who have actually as well. The one area that you really specialize in right now, and the future is going to change because you're developing the suite of tools. Right now there's a lot of experience and a lot of exposure around the sourcing side, product finding with that software, and I know a lot of people like it. And I know one of the USPs is the fact that you use your software, you go in, you set your search up, click search, and 10 seconds later you get the results. Everything's already run in the background, and that is an amazing feature that I really like. What I will say, if anyone is interested, there is a link down below. Obviously you can check it out. There is a free trial, and obviously you can try out Arbitrage Hero and obviously see how quick that search is. No scanning, waiting. This is instant results. Trust me, game changer. So today, also pulling you away from the computer, I just want to learn a little bit about maybe what you're seeing in the ecosystem around Amazon Arbitrage, and I'll share some of my thoughts as well. There's probably two areas that I'd really like to break it down into. First things first is the sourcing, finding products, maybe suppliers, what's happening in that space. And then the second part I'd really like to talk about is actually not so much with the sourcing software, but more about the purchasing side and maybe the struggles you're seeing with certain suppliers with that. Can you share a little bit about, should we say, when it comes to sourcing, what are you seeing? And I know from history in the previous episode, you talked about you started back in 2018 yourself. Obviously now you've taken a break to focus on the software.
Yeah.
But in regards to sourcing, finding deals, has it changed in the last 3 years, or do you think it's the same?
As I said in part one, I kind of had to take a step back to put more time into Arbitrage Hero. So my view probably is not going to be 100% up to date, but I think all depends on the actual sellers and how they do their business. Because even when I was still buying things in 2019, end of 2019, close to 2020, many people were talking about problems with major stores canceling their orders, etc. But I'm a careful buyer. For example, I had never had that problem really with any of the stores, because if I know that the store tend to cancel orders, I just order a couple of things, a couple of times, and it helps, and it all adds up really. Brick by brick you build your business. So I didn't have many problems, but I saw a lot of complaints that people couldn't buy products in well-known stores in quantities. So that's the main thing, I think.
And I really understand, and I think from my own personal experience, I know from my sourcing team, Boots, obviously the supplier everyone talks about, great deals. You can maybe get the order through, but it doesn't mean it's going to get shipped, because a lot of them get cancelled afterwards. Is that something that you've seen with your customers?
I've heard about them from my customers, but one of the suppliers which I was thinking about was actually Boots, but I wasn't buying tens of each item. I could buy two of one item, two of another item too. Because if you're doing it on the scale as you do, then obviously that supply is not ideal. But if you are just starting out, I don't think that any new seller, or if just you're happy with your income by selling just with your additional side hustle business like Amazon Arbitrage, then I don't think they should avoid trying to use those stores really. So if you want to scale, I think probably you need to avoid those. But if you are just doing side hustle, then I think it's okay to try them.
It's a really interesting thing. And while you're talking about it, it kind of sparked something in me. So if I just say in my business, we there's a retail group called the Hut Group. They own a lot of different brands. I can't even think of one of them to save my life, but they own a lot of different like stores you'll kind of know. And interestingly enough, we got banned from them. So we can't place any orders with any of them at all, period. And I think we were probably spending anywhere between 10 and 20,000 a week with them, because obviously they didn't like the fact that we were reselling the products, which was a real problem. But what was really interesting you just talked about there was I talked about boots for us. We've never purchased some boots in the last, 3 years because you can't buy quantity. But what you are saying is actually for you, and I'm not saying everyone, but for you, when you were purchasing the low, the 1s, 2s, maybe 3s, you were getting through and that was okay. And what's really interesting there and kind of flagged in my brain was the fact that if you're a new seller starting out, that's actually an area where you can go in and buy, and there are good deals on boots, aren't there?
Yeah, there are, and I think you shouldn't avoid them. Once you reach the point when you want to scale, obviously you will get banned, like you said. Or you can still carry on if you have VAs, etc., just buying a couple of items, or maybe just registering accounts on your wife or somebody else, and then just buy in small quantities. But obviously, if you're scaling, you're not going to see like huge profits from that. You will see profits, but not huge profits. But I know that the majority of our users, they are not aiming to build like $1 million business because they have families, they have kids, and they just want to spend, let's say, half an hour a day, 1 hour a day to find products and sell them. And for them, I think it's okay to buy products from suppliers like Boots until they ban them.
The one thing I really think about that is it's a USP for new beginners. Like if you're just doing this as a side hustle to earn a bit of extra money, Boots could be a major supplier for you, or for them, should you say. Quick question for you. I remember when I first started, probably looking, oh my God, 4 years ago, maybe 5 at this rate. There was an amazing website, or amazing supplier called Tesco Direct, and everyone used to buy from them. You could buy like a pallet quite happily, and they would not complain. And they would, interesting enough, they would even deliver the pallet to the local Tesco. But unfortunately, Tesco Direct shut down. My question to you is, do you think we're going to see more of that? More kind of like well-known stores closing down, and if so, why?
So the thing is that Amazon is killing major stores as well, those retail stores. But I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think those who had to shut down already have finished with their business. I think those who have survived probably will carry on for a few more years at least. So I think, again, I'm not the expert here, but I think we're not going to see major closures, I think, in the next... Because we've been through COVID, we've been through all that stuff, and those who had to close their doors, they have done it. So I think for the next couple of years, I think we should be okay with what we have on the market at the moment. That's my view, but...
No, definitely. I think interesting. Just while talking to you, I thought about Tesco Direct, and then I thought about Woolworths, and then I thought about, who are they called? Debenhams.
Yeah.
And you are right, Amazon's having a real effect on the ecosystem, but it's not on the retail space, and especially the online, but also retail on the high street, is the fact, but also on the fact that buying habits are changing. And retailers have to keep with the times, update. And the one thing we've seen probably in the last couple of months is even like, I think it was like Morrison's, they're now selling on Amazon directly. Is that right? I think I've seen that.
I've heard something about it. To be honest, I haven't really checked that. I know that our users still buy products from Morrison's using our software. I know for sure, like for example, Disney, somebody told me not to add the store. Now I'm considering to add it, but because Disney was selling also directly on Amazon, and I saw quite a few deals from some VAs and from some sellers, and it looks like even if a supplier sells something, it looks like they are just picking what they want to sell. They don't sell everything. So I think there might be still opportunity, even if the store is selling directly, there might be some opportunities to sell products, to resell products from them on Amazon.
Definitely. Hey, I know it in the fact that I've seen it even with like Morrison's, whereby they do sell, but they have like certain minimum order quantities, maybe longer shipping because they're fulfilling from Morrison's rather than from FBA, and there's still an opportunity to buy, ship, and resell through the FBA program and charge a higher price, but still win the buy box because of the fulfillment options. And obviously, if you're a good seller, you still got good metrics.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think logically thinking about such huge organizations like Morrison's, it will take them a while to automate the full infrastructure to be able to ship from their own warehouse and sell by Amazon. So it looks like we're still okay with that, I think.
Question for you. We kind of talked a bit about this off camera, and it's very much around, should we say general stores or big well-known store names? Call it Morrison's, call call it Argos, call it Tesco, for example, versus more niche sites, maybe from personal history, but also as well from the sourcing side. What do you see? Do you see like more deals in the big stores, more people doing that, or yourself personally, or are you seeing more demand for the niche sites? Yeah. What do you see there?
I see from the users, they all request big stores, but I think that probably more than half of our users, they are just starting out or at the beginning of their path with Amazon. And because of that, those are the only stores which they know about. And big stores, they can allow to have big discounts. Usually they don't last. You could find better deals in big stores, but with niche stores, if you find a deal, you can keep replenishing it again and again. So it might take a little bit longer to find the deal, but once you have found it, then you probably will be able to resell that deal for months ahead.
Definitely, and I think that's really interesting. I really agree with you on that. I think the one thing I kind of see in my business is that, let's call it like Walmart, let's call it like Asda, for example. They might run like a loss leader on a Lego promotion because they want to get people in stores at a certain time. They have the buying power, but also they have the capital to do that, because they're going to get additional spend, and that might crash the price for a few, like maybe a few weeks, but then because you can't resupply, it goes back up again. If you can hold, that works really well. But also on the other hand, where you talk about the more independent stores, they are harder to find. The products, a bit more niche and they're a bit more of a challenge, but once you get them, they generally last a lot longer, and that's more looking at the replenishable model.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to replenish that. Do you get a lot of questions around? Actually, you're saying a lot of your customers are really asking for the big stores not the niche stores at the moment, like the bulk of it. Is that right?
Yes, this is what our first users have been asking for, and I don't know why, but I think if our users could provide us with feedback or requests for niche stores, probably we'll be able to add them very quickly, because it's much harder to add a big store, but it's very easy. Like I probably could add a simple store like in 1 hour into our system, because we have like a good ecosystem now. If you are watching that video and if you are using Arbitrage Hero, just fill up requests, send me an email, and we will add it. But yes, you already said most of the requests are coming to well-known stores, but it's like this is what we are all seeing on TV, like Argos, Tesco, Sainsbury's, and that's why everybody's talking about, you don't have Sainsbury's, add it. Yeah, we have it, but I know for sure that most of our users, they source from some other suppliers.
Question for you. Obviously, you're doing sourcing software, and part of sourcing software is scraping stores. Are you seeing any stores like deploying anti-scraping technology, or should we say trying to make it more difficult? And if so, are you able to share which ones? Because it's quite an interesting, should you say, information.
All of them. I mean, all major stores, they are trying to prevent you to scrape their websites. Tesco's like Smith Toys Studio, which is the UK website. So obviously for the US, Walmart is definitely trying to ban. Even Amazon, if you try to scrape Amazon, they kind of stop you from doing that after a couple of requests. So yeah, they are trying to do that. I don't think that they're doing it just to prevent us to buy products. So the reason probably is different. It's my view. They just want to kind of protect their infrastructure, probably. I don't know. But they are trying to protect their stores, and we're trying to overcome that.
And obviously that creates a barrier for you in finding deals and opportunities. But also I think on the other hand is understanding like where software really works really well, but also where it has challenges. Nothing's perfect, and it's about blending different approaches. And that's really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. We're trying to do our best, so to work with those stores, and so now we have. This is why I'm mentioning the US stores, because now we have beta running, and think the US stores are more advanced rather than the UK stores, and this is where we're seeing more protection happening. But at the same time, they have a lot of holes which you can use to get the data.
Final kind of area that I'd just like to touch upon. We talked about it earlier, cancelled orders. This is a big thing. People using Arbitrage Hero, people maybe manually sourcing, getting orders cancelled. Are there any kind of top tips that maybe you might be able to share, that if people are trying to get those orders through perhaps, or something that maybe you can see that your customers are doing that's going to help them get the orders through in regards to cancelled orders?
With regards to cancelled orders, it's difficult, as we briefly discussed earlier. If you want to scale, it will be very difficult to avoid that, But if you just want to have an income, and if you're happy just to order like 3 items from there, 3 items from there, and 3 items from there, they will all add up in your profits. And this is, in my view, the only way to avoid that. I know what some of my users do. They actually search for deals on Arbitrage Hero prior to actually physically going to the store, and they create a list of what they want to buy, and then they ask people in the store for particular items. So they kind of mix using online arbitrage software with actual retail arbitrage, because it's kind of hard when you visit the store and obviously you start scanning products, but you don't know what they have available there. But when you are ready and when you're prepared for your retail arbitrage in advance, then it can save your time.
Wow, that's really amazing. I love that. That's a really good tip. I never thought of that, but that's so powerful. Using Arbitrage Hero to build a shopping list of products and then going in store to physically buy them.
Exactly, and this is how you can overcome Boots' problem.
Agreed, 100%. Obviously you can do that. That's very interesting. And obviously you could build a list of different stores to go to. And if you live in a big city, you can go to like 2 or 3 different stores of the same brand.
Yeah, people do the whole logistics. They create routes. They do that. So I think the best model is just to mix pure online and retail.
My God. Hey, I really like that one. That makes me want to go out there and get in a van and start doing it. Got to come back from Mexico.
And we're thinking about an integration to help.
Really?
We're thinking, but it's just...
Watch this space. Something will be coming out, definitely. So if anyone wants to get in contact or obviously use Arbitrage Hero, I'll drop a link down below. But if anyone wants to get in contact with you, maybe get some feedback about stores. What's the best way of doing that? Is there like a Facebook group or something?
At the moment, we have Facebook group just for users. So I don't accept anyone. I accept our users to join. Even if you are in free trial, you will be able to join. But if you don't have an account, you will not be able to join. I have a free group where you can post and do something. But we have email, support@arbitragehero.com. So all feedback, all requests can be sent there, and I always answer PMs, so you can always message me if you have any questions about Arbitrage Hero or any questions about Amazon.
So what I'll say is I'll drop a link to the free trial down below, and then once you've signed up for the free trial, do join the Facebook group, because you said you can join that when there's a free trial. So do check that out. And I think, look, amazing bit of software. And that last tip, that was incredible. I didn't even realize that. It's all these little things you learn. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So anything else maybe you want to share if I haven't asked you before we finish?
The only thing which I probably mentioned, I think we said it multiple times in the first part, that it is not a push-button business, and I think there are no push-button businesses. If you are thinking about starting it, if you're doing it already and not seeing the results which you want to see, just keep doing it, keep the persistent work, and then you have an example here. Who have been spending a lot of time. I'm sure that at the beginning it was slow, but now getting the fruits. So just keep doing it and you will have success. That's the only tip.
Fantastic, I really agree.
And don't switch to a different one, because from my previous experience with selling internet marketing products, software products, people tend to jump from one business model to another. All of them work, but they just, 1 month or 2 months it doesn't work. They switch to another one, 2 months doesn't work. So just keep doing it for at least 6 months and you will see results.
Yeah, it takes time, definitely. I think in a recent survey we asked, how long did you take a salary? And most people said 12 to 18 months. But that's about reinvesting profits, learning, and at the end of the day, this is a business, isn't it? It's not a join it today, tomorrow you make £1,000, get rich quick scheme. It's a proper business. I think some people maybe struggle to realize that at the beginning. It takes time.
It does.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. I will obviously leave you be to get back to your obviously coding, developing, and obviously improving Arbitrage Hero. Obviously, it's a great bit of software already, and thank you so much. But it's been a real pleasure interviewing you, and obviously welcome. Thank you for taking the time out and obviously inviting me to your house.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.